In Greek mythology, Hera is one of the most famous of the Greek goddess. She is the queen of the gods, and wife and sister of Zeus. Hera is the goddess of marriage and birth, and despite being the goddess of marriage, she was known to be jealous and vengeful towards the many lovers. She was born at the time when the Titans were the supreme deities of the cosmos. Hera indeed was the daughter of the supreme god Cronus, and his wife Rhea. Rhea would give birth to 6 children, but Cronus was wary of his position, and a prophecy that stated, he would be overthrown by his own child. So, each time Rhea gave birth to a child, Cronus would imprison it within his stomach. Thus, the daughter of Cronus spent her years within the stomach of her father. She spent alongside with Hades, Hestia, Demeter and Poseidon. Only one child of Cronus escaped the fate of his siblings, and that was Zeus. Zeus would eventually return from hiding in Crete, and would force Cronus to disgorge his prisoners, when his father drank a special potion. Zeus would then lead his brothers in the Titanomachy, the 10-year war against the Titans. During the war, Hera said to have been in the care of the Titans, Oceanus and Tethys. Sometime later, Hera married Zeus. Such brother-sister marriages were common among the ruling classes in ancient societies. Together they had several children, including Eileithyia, the goddess of maternity and childbirth, Ares, god of war, and Hebe, goddess of youth. Despite being married to Hera, Zeus was far from monogamous, and Hera would ultimately spend much of her time dealing with lovers of Zeus, and taking vengeance on the offspring produced. One was Leto, a Titan and the daughter of Coeus and Phoebe. Though Hera did not know it at the time, Leto was already pregnant by the time she and Zeus were wed. When Hera discovered this pregnancy, she flew into a violent rage, and pushed Leto from the top of Mount Olympus. With Zeus' help, Leto eventually managed to escape to the barren island of Delos. In response, Hera summoned a dragon named Python to hunt down Leto. At long last, Leto gave birth to Apollo and Artemis, the archer deities. The twins quickly proceeded to slay Python, and shield their mother from Hera's wrath. Hera's obsession with killing Hercules ably captured the lengths and depths of her vengefulness towards Zeus' extramarital lovers, and their offspring. Hercules was born of a union between Zeus and the mortal Alcmene, the wife of Amphitryon. Once Hercules was born, Hera sent a pair of snakes to kill the young boy. Hercules strangled them, and played with them like toys in his nursery. Finally, 2 more victims of the Queen of Gods were, Ixion, who was tied to an ever-spinning wheel down in Hades as punishment, for his attempted seduction of Hera. Tychos, who was punished for the same indiscretion, by being chained to a rock, and having his liver eaten daily by a vulture. Hera played a key role in the start of Trojan War. To settle a feud between Hera, Athena and Aphrodite, over who was the most beautiful, Zeus commissioned Paris, Prince of Troy to judge them in a beauty contest. Eager to settle the matter, the goddess appeared before him unclothed. Despite this, Paris refused to choose a winner. The goddesses then resorted to bribes. Hera promised political power, while Athena promised wisdom and glory. It was Aphrodite who offered Paris the most beautiful mortal woman alive. Paris chose Helen, wife of King Menelaus of Sparta. In fulfillment of her promise, Aphrodite had Helen abducted and brought to Troy, providing the spark for the famous conflict to come. Zeus was brutish and cruel to everybody. Incapable of bearing this, Hera plotted a revenge plan with Poseidon, Athena and possibly few other gods. She drugged Zeus, and they bound him on his bed, while stealing his thunderbolt. Thetis however summoned Briareus, and he managed to quickly untie Zeus. Zeus hung Hera from the sky with golden chains. To grant herself a release, Hera swore to never rebel again against her husband. In Roman culture, the goddess lived on as Juno, although she principally represented the good family and faithfully marriage attributes of Hera rather than the jealous avenger of infidelity. Juno was one of the most important Roman gods, along with Jupiter and Minerva. Indeed, she was also the patron of Rome itself.